So hello and welcome to the final live workshop of NessFest 2020. It's been a lovely day. I'm so glad you guys could join us today. So welcome. My name's Meg and I've been the organiser of NessFest 2020. It's lovely to have you here. So for anybody that doesn't know, NessFest 2020 is a youth arts festival in Lowestoft exclusively for young people. And we've had a fabulous day so far. And today, or now I should say, we've got a lovely workshop by a local musician, Helen, who lives in Lowestoft, and she's going to do something very exciting called the Sounds of Lowestoft, but I'll let her tell you a bit more about that in a minute. But Helen is a fabulous musician. She's worked on all kinds of different projects. She works all over Lowestoft. I'm sure lots of you will know her face already, including working for the First Light Festival, different kind of festival to NessFest, but still as fun, I hope. So I will hand you over to Helen. Helen, welcome.
Hi Meg, thank you so much for having me, and just to say, as this is the last workshop of the day, I've really enjoyed NessFest. I've been watching all the online activities today, so just want to say well done to everybody who's taken part today. It's been fantastic, and thank you to you and the team for organising the project. I think we're very lucky to have had such a fantastic day of activities on a horrible on a rainy day at half term, so thank you for that. And yes, I'm Helen. I actually live in a little village just outside of Lowestoft, but most of my work takes place in the Lowestoft area, and I'm a practicing musician. I perform and sing, play ukulele, and I also lead some community groups at the Seagull and places like that. And some of the young people might have seen me in local schools, because I do go into schools and do workshops as well. So when the lockdown hit us back in the middle of March, life became very difficult for us musicians, because we're so used to being out and about and performing and communicating with people. And suddenly we thought, what are we going to do? And we all discovered the wonderful world of Zoom, which we'd never even heard of Zoom at the beginning of lockdown. And suddenly everybody's living their lives on Zoom. So my Zoom experiences have been having a quiz with my friends and family on Friday nights, having lots of meetings with people like you, Meg, and the First Light team. But also I've been leading some of my music groups online as well. And what happens is you've got the internet, and being out in the middle of nowhere or sort of in the east, which doesn't seem to be a high priority for fast broadband. There's a lag, and everyone's having to be really, really creative about how they lead their music sessions. And what usually happens is that somebody like me will lead a singing session, and when we're talking like this, I will be unmuted, but then I'll sort of mute everybody. So you will hear my voice singing and then your own voice singing, but you won't hear everybody else. And everybody's become kind of obsessive about, keeping Zoom sessions on mute and adding pre-recorded backing tracks and things like that. And I thought it might be quite fun in a kind of experimental music workshop to just see what happens when we all unmute a bit and kind of embrace that lag. So we're so used to singing or playing in time with each other, but it kind of like goes all over. So I want to kind of explore those sounds. And then I kind of thought of us all living in this kind of virtual world of Zoom, and thought, well, we've got the sounds of Lowestoft outside and we've got the sounds of Lowestoft inside, and wouldn't it be quite fun to kind of create this virtual soundscape of what Lowestoft and this festival is now? It's become an online festival, so it's kind of a representation of us all at home and making sounds, and maybe some of the outside sounds as well. So before we start, I thought it would be quite nice to just introduce the idea of what a soundscape is. I know everyone's kind of muted at the moment, but I don't know if anybody wants to unmute and tell me if they think they know what a soundscape is, as opposed to any other kind of piece of music. So I can see we've got, no, Meg's shaking her head. Is everyone kind of shaking their heads? So if you think of a painting and you have a landscape or a seascape, then you're kind of depicting reality through an image. Sometimes it might be the artist's own impression of what that image is. So a soundscape is a kind of audio representation of a place. And some composers have taken this kind of into a different sphere. So you might find a composer like Debussy has written a piece called La Mer, which is all about the sea, and he's used the orchestral instruments to recreate the sounds of the sea. But what we're doing in a soundscape is we're using real sounds to kind of make them into music. And the person who we think invented the concept of a soundscape was called Raymond Schaefer. And I found a little video on YouTube which just explains a little bit more about it. So if I can get my technical assistant, Adam, to share screen now, we can just watch a little video. Oh, now it says I'm disabled. Does that mean that you need to make me a co-host for me to be able to share my screen?
Screens.
There we go, all done.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so let's just have a little look at this video, which explains a little bit more about what a soundscape is. Now, did you share original sound from computer when you did the share screen? Sorry, everybody. So go back to share. Share computer sound. Sorry, I'm giving technical advice to my technical assistant. It's great, isn't it? Okay, so here's Raymond Schaefer, who we think invented the soundscape, just telling us a little bit more about what it is.
Collection of sounds, almost like a painting is a collection of visual attractions. I think when you listen carefully to the soundscape, it becomes quite miraculous when you listen carefully and marvel. Well, we hear the train going off into the distance. We can hear some birds, of course. We can hear some traffic noise from Highway 7, quite distant. The most interesting thing, of course, is the birds at this time of the day. You can hear them in all directions. I think if you listen carefully, your life is enhanced. I think it becomes much more interesting. It's the same as looking carefully. If you can use your senses properly, and in art we try to get people to use their senses, to listen carefully, to look carefully at things, that enriches your life.
There we go. So just a little snippet there. And it's all about just listening to the sounds around us and actually taking notice of them. And, you know, so many adults say that we're all glued to our screens and there's a lot of visual stuff going on in our lives, but actually it's quite nice to just notice the sounds around us. What I'm going to do is, I just thought we'd start off by just experimenting a little bit with the sounds that we can make together. So is it okay for people who are going to join in to unmute themselves now? Because I want us to kind of hear what we can do. Okay, when you're unmuted, can you just like say hi or something so that we know that you're in the room with us?
Hi.
Hi. Hello. Hi. Okay. Right. So when we're all talking in a conversation, then we can all hear each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this game that I sometimes play with children when I'm running a workshop in school, and it's basically a counting game. And you know, when we have music, we have like a beat that goes on and on and on. And I'm going to count to 8 over and over again. I'll just demonstrate. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now what you're going to do, each person in the room is going to choose a number between 1 and 8. And when that number recurs in the pattern, you're going to clap. So if I chose number 3, I'll just demonstrate. I'd go like this. I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now I'm going to start off counting, but then I'm kind of going to stop. Now my theory is that when we do this, although you're going to clap in time with me, we won't be in time because we've got the lag. So we're just going to kind of experiment and see what happens. So if you can all pick a number between 1 and 8, I'm going to get Adam to join in as well, my tech assistant. So don't tell anyone what it is. And then if you can all unmute yourselves to show me that you're ready, because I want to hear you all. I want to hear what we all sound like. So I'm not sure that James is on. Oh, there he goes. Right, so choose your number. I'll count to 8 and we'll come in the second time. I'm not telling you which number I'm going to clap on. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Carry on. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's great. So actually at the moment, because we're all clapping, it doesn't sound too bad. So let's do it a different way this time. I want you to make a different sound with your voice or by body percussion. Body percussion is where you might click or you might do something different for a sound this time and choose a different number. I'm going to stand up this time and I'm going to do something different. Okay, so we'll start again. Is everyone unmuted? Let's try then. So get ready. I'll count in the first couple of times and then we'll just listen and see what happens. So I'm going to clap on or do something on a different number this time. So is Adam. Okay, so I'll count 8 and then we join in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's great. Did everyone hear clearly? I could hear Meg doing that. I'm not sure what you were doing there, Lara, because you.
I was clicking.
Oh, it was a
Attempting to
quiet
click.
click. I can hear Madison very clearly. Is James there? What was James doing? He's muted again. Don't know if he's going to tell us. I could hear Kitty May and Madison really clearly, and I could hear Meg. So that's interesting that some of the sounds are kind of like coming through on the Zoom better than some others. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just kind of using the space around us and finding some sounds. Okay, so the next thing I want you to do is in the near space to where you are, I want you to find an object that isn't a musical instrument, that we can try that again and make some sounds out of some household instruments. So just take a minute to have a look around your space and see if you can find something that you might be able to make a sound with.
Vitamin C.
You got your vitamin C. I've got, maybe we can all share what we've got. I've got some wooden coasters, you know, the little mats that you put your drink on, and I'm just going to go. It's a good sound. There's my sound. Okay, Adam's got his bottle of vitamin C tablets that he's shaking. Has anyone else got anything yet?
Fanhead.
Ah, so that's like a binder on a notebook, Meg.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Yeah. Can we hear that again, please? Great. Okay. Have you got one, Lara?
Yeah, I've got 2 books I'm going to slap against each other.
Okay, great.
It's one of those days.
Kitty May, Madison, have you got any sounds?
I've got a bear full of beans that makes like a
broken fan head.
a broken fan.
So what sound are you going to make with the broken fan head then, Madison?
I'll just make a low thump, I think.
Okay, let's hear it then.
Okay,
Oh. Can't hear it. Can you have you tried like scraping it with your fingers or fingernails or something, see if it makes a sound for us that we can hear?
Doesn't really do anything.
Be quiet.
We don't really have anything in this room.
Use a pen on it.
Yeah, if you hold it up to the computer, we could hear that scraping sound then, Madison.
Just use scraping.
Yeah,
Let's hear it again. Yeah, that's better. I want to hear the sound. So if you can do that for us. So Kitty May, let's hear your one.
I have a bear.
Okay. What happens if you kind of like shake the bear or move it around in a different way? Can you get any different sounds out of it? No, it's not very good. It's not very good. What, have you got a shoe or something you can knock? We need to actually hear a sound.
Beat the bear with.
Yeah. The bears, it's
Oh,
interesting 'cause it's a bit of a soft, I found a nice like hard surface I could. That's quite quiet, Kitty May. Let's move on to James. Has James got something we can hear?
Got a fork.
Oh, and what sound can you make with it?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's
That's
great.
it.
You see, that's more
That's
like
it.
it. So let's go one by one and let's all just give a thumbs up that we can hear everybody's sound. So I'll go first, then Adam, then Meg, then Lara, Madison, Kitty May, James, and let's just see what happens. Okay, so here's mine. Right.
Yay!
The only one I couldn't hear there was Madison's one. It was just a little bit quiet.
Yes.
Use that.
There you go.
That's better. Okay, so let's try the counting game again with our sounds that we've created out of household objects, and I'll start count. We'll do the 8 round and round again, and choose a different number. Let's see what happens this time. Okay, so here we go. I'll count to 8, then join in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, great. That's really good. So if you were going to develop that a little bit more, young people, what do you think we could do to make that a bit more interesting? Either James or Kitty May or Madison, any ideas?
Play together.
We could do something like have one person make their sound all the way through. So, you know, Madison's kind of scraping sound. I like that. That could kind of like go all the way through as a sort of like a background noise. What do you think you could do with yours, James? Because I really like the sound of it, but it kind of like, it was quite short. I kind of wanted to hear a bit more of it. What do you think you could do?
Not really sure. I don't know.
Not really sure. Anyone got any ideas about what they could do? I hit mine 3 times to try and make it a bit more interesting. So let's see if we
I
can
turn that more slowly.
Yeah, so let's see if we can make our sounds a bit longer and a bit more interesting this time. And I'm going to start counting, and then I'm going to stop counting, and I just want us to try and create some sounds together and just see what we like the sounds of and just see what happens, okay? So I'll start counting, then I'll stop, and we can improvise, which means make it up as we go along and see what happens with our sounds. But only use the sounds that you've decided to use with your instrument, your non-instruments, okay? So I'll count to 8. Choose a different number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Carry on with improvising. There we go. So yeah, so that's a bit different, I'm guessing, to things that you've done before. How did that sound to everybody? Was it kind of fun or interesting, or can you all hear properly?
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to do was have a little bit of an experiment with our voices on the Zoom. Okay, and I've got a really simple song that I teach to quite a lot of the children I work with, and it's got 3 different parts. You don't have to sing if you don't want to, but I'll just show you how it goes. And the first line is about bottles of pop. You know this one, Kitty May, I know. And it goes 1 bottle of pop, 2 bottle of pop, 3 bottle of pop, 4 bottle of pop, 5 bottle of pop, 6 bottle of pop, 7 bottle of pop, pop. So we've got 7 bottles of pop, pop. Now if I mute everybody, or if Meg can mute everybody or mute yourselves, try and sing along with me, so all you'll hear is my voice and your voices. You won't hear anyone else. Are you ready?
Oh wait, I've muted you now. Oh no.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 bottle of pop, 2 bottle of pop, 3 bottle of pop, 4 bottle of pop, 5 bottle of pop, 6 bottle of pop, 7 bottle of pop, pop. Now stay muted. The second part goes like this. Fish and chips and vinegar, vinegar, vinegar. Fish and chips and vinegar, pepper, pepper, pepper pot. So you've got fish and chips and vinegar. I chose this one because it reminded me of being at the seaside at Lowestoft, you see. So let's try that one. Again, stay muted and just join in. No one will hear you, but I can only hear myself. Okay, after 3 then. 1, 2, 3. Fish and chips and vinegar, vinegar, vinegar. Fish and chips and vinegar, pepper, pepper, pepper pot. You got the pepper pot at the end. So this time, if you sing 1 bottle of pop, 2 bottle of pop, 3 bottle of pop, 4 bottle of pop, I'll sing that the first time. And I want you guys to carry on singing the bottles of pop, and I'll sing the vinegar bit and see what happens. All muted except for me. So first time I'm going to sing bottles of pop. You carry on singing the bottles of pop, and I'll sing the vinegar bit, okay? Okay, after 3 then. 1, 2, 3. 1 bottle of pop, 2 bottle of pop, 3 bottle of pop, 4 bottle of pop, 5 bottle of pop, 6 bottle of pop, 7 bottle of pop, pop. Carry on. Fish and chips and vinegar, vinegar, vinegar. Fish and chips and vinegar, pepper, pepper, pepper pot. Okay. Right, now unmute yourselves. Thank you. Right, what I've done is there is a third part to that song as well, which if we had more time I would teach you, and it goes, no you can't put your muck in our dustbin, our dustbin, our dustbin. You can't put your muck in our dustbin's full. And by the miracle of modern technology, I've made a recording of me singing all those 3 parts. And I'm going to sing along with it. And can you, Kitty May, can you unmute yourself if you're allowed? Can I hear you?
Yes. Can you
Do you
hear
think
me?
you would be able to sing the 1 bottle of pop?
Yes, but it'll be lagged.
I know, that's what I want to see what happens. So first of all, I'll just play you my video, and then anyone who wants to join in can, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so first of all, this is how it goes. 1 bottle of pop, 2 bottle of pop, 3 bottle of pop, 4 bottle of pop, 5 bottle of pop, 6 bottle of pop, 7 bottle of pop, pop. 1 bottle of pop, 2 bottle of pop, 3 bottle of pop, 4 bottle of pop, 5 bottle of pop, 6 bottle of pop, 7 bottle of pop, pop. 1 bottle of pop, 2 vinegar, vinegar, vinegar. Fish and chips and vinegar, pepper, pepper, pepper pot. Fish and chips and vinegar, vinegar, vinegar. So let's pause that for a minute. Okay, so you all get the idea. Now, if anyone's brave enough to sing, or if not, you could maybe just beat your instruments in time. And we'll see what happens when we do it unmuted all together. So, Kitty May, are you going to do the one bottle of pop?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Anyone else going to sing, or are you just going to play your instruments in time?
I'll sing.
Okay. So, do you want to do the one bottle of pop with me, Meg? Was it Meg or Lara who said they were going to sing? Yeah. And then if Kitty May does the, can you do fish and chips and vinegar, Kitty May, actually?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then we'll see what happens. And if anyone wants to play their instruments, but try and play in time with the music, and we'll see what happens with the lag. It's experimenting to see what happens. Okay, can we play the video again? So we'll join in with the video as well, because I'm going to keep in time with it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with everybody trying to join in at the same time. Here we go then. One bottle of pop, two bottle of pop, three bottle of pop, four bottle of pop, five bottle of pop, six bottle of pop, seven bottle of pop,
Seven bottle of pop.
one bottle of pop, two bottle of pop, three
Bottle of pop.
four
Two
bottle
bottle
of
of
pop,
pop.
five
Three
bottle
bottle
of
of
pop,
pop.
six
Six
bottle of
bottle of
pop,
pop.
seven
Five
bottle of pop,
bottle of pop.
one
One
fish and
bottle
chips
of
and
vinegar.
vinegar,
Bottle of pop. Two bottle of
vinegar,
pop. Three
fish and
bottle
chips and
of
vinegar,
pop. One
pepper,
bottle
pop.
of six
Fish
bottle of pop.
and chips and
Seven
vinegar,
bottle of pop.
vinegar,
One
vinegar,
bottle of pop. Two
fish and
bottle
chips
of
and
six
vinegar, vinegar,
four bottle of pop.
pepper,
Five
you
One
can't put
bottle of
six
pop,
chips and
two
two
bottle of
chips
pop.
and chips and
Three
vinegar,
bottle of pop.
vinegar,
One
you
bottle
can't
of
put
pop.
chips and
Two bottle of pop.
vinegar,
Three bottle of pop. Four bottle of pop.
no, you
Five
can't put chips
bottle of
and
pop. Six
vinegar,
bottle of pop. Seven
vinegar,
bottle of
vinegar,
pop.
you can't put
One
chips
bottle
and
of pop. Two
vinegar,
bottle of pop.
pop,
Three
pepper,
bottle of
spot.
pop. Four
No, you
bottle
can't
of
put
pop.
chips and
Five bottle of
vinegar,
pop. Six bottle
vinegar,
of pop. Seven
vinegar,
bottle
you
of pop.
can't put chips and
One bottle of pop.
vinegar, pepper, spot.
one
Four
bottle
bottle
of
of
Vinegar,
five
pop,
bottle
three
vinegar,
bottle of
six
pop,
bottle
four
vinegar,
of
bottle of
seven
pop,
five
five
bottle
bottle
of
bottle
of
of
pop, six
vinegar,
bottle of pop,
seven
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 bottle
bottle
of
bottle
of
of
pop,
pop.
pop, bottle of bottle
Fish
of
and
pop, four bottle of pop.
Hey! Did you hear what happened? I've been wanting to do that for ages, but you can see now. You can see now why people are finding it so difficult to do their choir practices online, because this is what happens. So that's why people like me have been making videos and then muting everybody. And that kind of in the Zoom room experience is something that we've all been avoiding. But I'm kind of thinking for the NessFest that we should embrace the kind of in the Zoom room experience. So that's just to give you a bit of insight to all of that. So some people have sent me in some snippets of sounds from around their homes and around Lowestoft. And Adam and I have created a piece called The Sounds of Lowestoft, and we're going to reveal it to you now in little stages. So hopefully we can share screen to you what we've been creating. Can you all see that okay?
Oh, hang on.
Let's have a look. I'm getting a bit hot now. Have a sip of my lemonade. Okay, can you all see that on screen now?
Yeah, I can.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay. So what this is done on GarageBand, which is a free app that you can use for creating your own music and recording. And the way it works is there's a whole bank of sound that you can use as different types of instruments. There's different bass lines, different guitar riffs, all that kind of thing. So you can actually just layer some of the sounds from within the bank of sounds that they have to create a piece. And a lot of people who make dance type music do that. And you can also add your own recordings in. So a lot of people use this as a kind of studio at home. So they might record themselves singing, playing the guitar, playing the drums, and feeding those into GarageBand. So what I did was I asked people to send me in some sounds from around and about Lowestoft, from in their homes, from outside, and I've kind of put them into GarageBand. So we've put them in, and then we've got them to loop. And a loop basically means that you take a sound and then you just repeat it over and over and over again. And the king of the loops around here is Ed Sheeran, because what he does, he performs everything live himself. and he has like a looping pedal, so he'll play a little snippet of music and it'll keep repeating over and over again. So first of all, I thought we would individually play you some of these snippets of sounds. I don't actually know what they all are because some people just sent them to me without saying what they are. We'll just have a listen to some of the different sounds that have come from Lowestoft. I hope you can hear them. So sound number 1, which I've looped, you will hear shortly. Pause that now. Did you all hear that okay? Did anyone have any idea what it might be? Did anyone hear it? Did you hear it, James? Thumbs up or thumbs down? No? Okay, let's try again. It's actually someone inside a car that's driving along, and we can hear, should be good. Can you hear this one? Okay, so let's pause that one. So that one is somebody tapping something, I'm guessing, a radiator or something like that, and layered it on. So that was sent in to me. Here's another one. Stop. Do you know what that one could be? Anyone?
Squeaky door.
A squeaky door. Did you hear that now? It's kind of like someone closing a squeaky door. Did you hear that okay? Here's the next one. Another squeaky door. Okay. Shall we go to, yeah, let's try we've got one that we call Jangle. I don't know what it is, but this is another one that was sent in. It sounds like someone putting tin cans in a wheelie bin to me, but I don't know if it is. It could be, it could be. Okay, and then we've got another one that we've called Scraper. Yeah, okay. And the next one is the good old waves at the beach. I hope you can hear these okay. Yeah. There you go. Now the next one, I was kind of thinking of some of the sounds that I hear when I'm out and about in Lowestoft. And one of them is when you know when you stop at the traffic lights and the person in the car next to you's got like some boom, boom, boom music going. I tried to get the sort of bass line of hearing somebody's music in the car next to you. So see if you can hear this. Can you all hear that okay? So that's the bass. We've got some seagulls. And then we've got a couple of surprises. So what I'm going to do now is, before we go ahead, I've created this kind of piece of music. I've called it a piece of music, which is called Soundscape, Sounds of Lowestoft. And I thought we could have a little interest and listen to it, and then we're going to try and add some live sounds into it as we go along. Before we go ahead, can you all hear, is it all coming through the sound okay? Because I don't know how much you can hear. Yeah?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so let's play it then, see what happens. Have a listen. Okay, so I'll stop it there. I haven't played the whole thing. That's just about 55 seconds of it. I've just noticed that 2 of the loops that we put in earlier have vanished, and they were I don't know what's happened to them. But what we'll do now is James kindly sent in 2 extra sounds for us just before the workshop started, and we've loaded them in, and we thought we could have a listen to them and see if we can add them in to the piece to extend the soundscape. So let's have a listen. Can we hear them separately?
Yeah.
Adam? Okay, here's number 1. I can't see anybody now, I can only see my... So that's I'm guessing that's a bop it, James. I've got one of those as well. That's great. That's a really good sound. So let's see now what happens then if we make that one. Shall we loop it a little bit further along? Let it appear a bit further on. So loop on, and then that's basically it's now placed it in the whole of the piece. But we'll just that's it. We'll create a loop of that there. And what was the other sound? Have we got that there? Oh, let's hear that again. It sounds like a drum. Ah, what was that one, James?
Can't remember.
Can't remember. Did he say what it was on the thing? So.
That was our stove door showing about.
Oh, it was the stove door closing. That's brilliant. So let's see what happens if we loop it. Yeah, let's leave it going. We've got volume control on our GarageBand app as well, but 2 of the 2 loops have gone. The best ones, I thought, because I played my instrument on one of them, and so did one of my friends. But I don't know where they've gone. They've vanished. Oh well. Yeah. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning. So I'm just going to go right back to the beginning of the piece. I'm going to turn all the loops back on. I think. Am I, Adam? Okay, and let's just hear what it sounds like with the added in loops that the sounds that James sent to us. Now this time, as we have a listen, if you've got an instrument with you, or if you've got your household item, as we listen through, have a listen and see if you get any ideas about where you might add some live sounds in to make it sound a bit more. This is the kind of backing track, and we're going to add some live sounds in. So I'll go back to the beginning. Let's just have a listen with James's added loops and see what happens. There we go, James. There's your stove door. And we'll just wait for the second sound of James's to come in and see what happens there. And then I'll stop there. Okay. So did you hear how that worked, James, with your added sounds? And we've looped them in. What I would probably do is you know, if I had a bit more time, I'd probably just, you know, make the sound shorter and bring them in here and there. But I don't know what's happened to the other 2 loops that I did, because they were the 2 using instruments that were kind of making it interesting. But I did notice that Kitty May had got an instrument, and so had Madison. And if they would like to unmute themselves.
Yes,
Did you have any ideas for anything that you could add to that if we sort of like unmute and we kind of I think we could like all play along to the to the pre-recorded piece with our household items, or we can sing, or we can play. For instance, I've got my ukulele. I think you could play your fork, maybe. James, what were you doing? Kitty May, Madison, did you have some ideas?
I was just kind of playing some chords.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
how about then, if do you feel inspired that you could show us what you were doing if I sort of play the track again and you can like jam along with it and see what happens? Let me just go back to the beginning then. Let's just make sure we can hear you while you're unmuted.
I don't really remember what I was doing, to be honest. I
You're
was
just kind of improvising. Okay.
chords.
Okay. Well, let's go back to the beginning then. Shall we all unmute ourselves? I'll get my I'm going to play my coasters. Have you got your fork there, James?
Yep.
Okay. Have you got your books, Lara? Have you got your?
I'm ready.
Okay. So let's see what happens if we make. Let's just see what happens if we make some sounds together with it. And what I'll have to do, Meg, I'll have to try and resurrect the original version of it, because it was so good, and I've lost 2 of the main loops from it. But I can't. I don't want to sort of stand here for 10 minutes trying to sort it out.
Yeah, don't worry, that's fine.
It's a shame. I might get my viola out and play one of them live for you in a minute. So let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens if we play along with the sounds of Lowestoft. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning. Here we go. And get ready. Right, I'm just going to stop it there. So I can't hear you very well, Kitty May and Madison. I don't know whether you can get closer to the microphone or something like that. Did anyone else hear Madison and Kitty May, what they were doing?
A little bit.
You know the original one that I emailed you earlier? Would that, or has it been edited? I'm just wondering if I emailed Adam the original version of the song earlier on, and I'm wondering if we can find the original one somehow. So let's hear what you're doing again, Kitty May, because I couldn't hear you very clearly.
Playing just the random strings and chords.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds really good now, you see. Shall we join in with them and just like make a live piece? So if you two keep playing, and then let's see if we can join in and see what happens. Great, that sounded really good. Did you play your fork, James? I didn't hear it very clearly. Pardon?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Give it a good old bang so I can hear it. I can hear it. Did you hear my coasters? Did it sound really out of time with Madison and Kitty May to you? Because I was perfectly in time with them here. But I don't know what the lag's doing for all of you. It's difficult to know how it sounds for you. Okay, so let's just go through again, and I'll get my viola out this time, and I'm going to play my viola, one of the loops I made that's lost, and I'll have to try and get the original piece back sometime. It's basically right. So I'll tell you that I had a friend of mine who plays guitar had sent me the riff from, he played the Darknesses song, I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and it sounded so cool in the piece, and it's vanished. And I played a riff of the Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra by Benjamin Britten, so we had our two famous musicians in there as well, but I don't know what's happened. They were there before the workshop started, and then when we tried to play it, they had completely vanished. Shame. So I'll play one of them live now. Okay, so let's unmute again, and then let's have a little go through at playing through. And if I can revive the piece, I'll send it to Meg so she can hear it again. Right, so we'll go back to the beginning, and we'll just have a little play along with the sounds of Lowestoft live. Edit 2. Okay, so play along. I can't do it. Hey, there you go. We managed to get it back at the end. Just about. I don't know what happened there. We also had another missing one, because I made my viola play the Benjamin Britten, Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, and we also had a drill that was quite fun, and that dropped out as well. So I do apologise. It was all set up, ready to go, and then when we played it, it was gone. So yeah, just wanted to kind of just have a bit of fun and experiment with some different sounds. And before we go, I just had a little video to share with you, which is about the use of... So we've kind of made a soundscape in the true sense of the word, really, by just using sounds around us. But this one shows how some musicians find everyday sounds and incorporate them into their music. So just have a look at this and see. I think it's interesting.
15 billion times. But the way you put a song together is very interesting. I was asking you about this. You told me that you would record different sounds, and Billy would record different sounds, and you go, hey, can we use this in the song? Or?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because like computers and everything have gotten so much cheaper and more accessible, I feel like a lot of music producers have like the same toolbox, and I think like to me as a producer, like I always want something to set my stuff apart, and so I'll walk around with just an iPhone will work, but sometimes I'll bring like a little mobile recorder, and I'll just like, if I hear an interesting sound, I'll just record it, and then later I'll listen through them and I'll go like, I wonder how I can use that. So like there's a song of Billy's called Bury a Friend.
Sure.
And we both have like Invisalign, like dental teeth straighteners.
Yeah.
And she was at the dentist, and they were like grinding down, they put these attachments on your teeth, and they were grinding down one of hers with that like horrible, like whatever ASMR is, like it's the opposite of that. Like the most unpleasant.
Oh yeah, it like gets in your
like,
head.
Like that sound.
Yeah, and it's in your head.
And so she came home from one of those appointments and was like, I recorded it. And I was like, great. And we put it right in Bury a Friend.
Let me show you guys. So here's the sound that Billy recorded. This is the drill. Ready?
When it's like in your brain, like that kind of feeling.
Just playing that really hurt my head. Yeah, it hurt my teeth. All right, so that was that, and then this is Bury a Friend, and you can see if you can hear it.
Calling security, keeping my head held down. I read the hatch.
Wow.
Just weird, just like a little textural thing, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Now I have one here that says crosswalk. What is crosswalk?
So we've toured Australia a couple times, which is really beautiful. And in Sydney and Melbourne, when you stand at a street light and you press the button to cross the street, which, do you think, here's my poll that I'm conducting. Do you think those buttons do...
First of all, you're not conducting.
I'm conducting a poll. You're the first person that I'm polling.
Okay.
Do you think the buttons
I'm
on
sorry,
street
I'm busy
corners-
right now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Do you think the buttons on street corners do anything, or do you
No.
think they're just for us?
They're just for us.
Yeah.
It's almost like the door closed in the elevator. That doesn't do anything.
Right, absolutely.
It's not attached to anything.
Yeah,
you
you
can
just
press as
press
much
it.
as you want, and then eventually the door will close. But
The
you did nothing.
superintendent's like, yeah, I count them every day just to see how many idiots there are. Anyway.
But I do press the button all the time. Though.
Oh yeah, me too. You press it over and over.
Yeah, and you hear. Yeah.
So when you're on a street corner in Australia, you press the button, and then when the walk sign turns on, you hear this like rhythmic sound that I love and that Billy loved, and so we recorded it, and it sounds like this. It's got like it's got like a groove. Perfect.
Wait, that's bizarre. Wait, that happens in Australia?
That's just every time you cross a street in Australia, you hear that.
Wow. All right, so then you use that for the song Bad Guy.
Yeah, the thing people think are hi-hats and bad guys is actually just that.
Duh.
Here's the
There. I don't have... There we go. So, Billie Eilish apparently goes around recording everyday sounds and then recording them in her phone and putting them into her songs that she's composing. So if any of you are writing songs or want to experiment with music, then you can use everyday sounds and bring them into to make a creative piece of music. And I'm very sorry that some of my loops had vanished from my piece, but I will try and restore it and send it to Meg so she can hear what my masterpiece sounded like before it went wrong. But it was really interesting to hear you making those sounds. I know it's something a bit different, and you know, if we had more people in the room, it would have been really interesting to see what happened. We maybe do it another time and see if we can build up this kind of soundscape for Lowestoft. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope that the sound came across okay. It's very difficult to know when you're sort of in a Zoom room how it's sounding to the people on the other side of the room, if you like. And maybe it'll just make when you're going around your daily business and listening, you might just actually listen a bit more instead of just looking, and listen to some of the sounds that are around us, and you might hear some music in them. So yeah,
Fabulous.
that's it really. Thank you, Meg.
Thank you so much, Helen. That was absolutely lovely. I certainly did not realise how many sounds there were out there, and it's amazing what you can do with practically nothing, and how much music you can make with just your household objects. So
Well,
yeah, definitely send me those files, and we'll get that out as the
yes,
sound of
I
life.
think, like I said, I think making music live in the current restrictions is really difficult. So I just wanted to try and find a way for us to embrace the Zoom and bring some of our lives together and connect us during this time. So hopefully we all felt a bit connected during the last hour.
Yeah, it was
thank you
really
for having
lovely.
me.
Thank you so much for
I
coming.
enjoyed your all singing as well. Maybe next time singing.
For people watching on YouTube, do continue to follow us on YouTube, because we're going to be joined by Helen and Adam and another person as well called Ben for our live Question the Artist. And hopefully they'll give us some answers. But I'll let everyone go from this meeting now. Thank you so much for joining us, and see you again in just a sec. All right, bye everyone.
Take care, everyone. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you.
No problem. Bye.